going through your mind, and so you're not going to be able to think straight. So this is why I do this. Student will tell me the problem, I capture the problem, and then when I start recommending, I'm like, listen, now I'm going to record for you so you can go back to it. It's been a while since I've actually done this. And when you go back to this video, the Venerable says, know how to separate your feelings from the objective of the matter at heart, at hand. Oh, someone's coming back into my life. Oh, I want to quit my job and find a new one. Oh, I'm bored with something. Now, what do I feel about it? What is my feeling telling me about it? And you need to be able to separate, because we're so enslaved with our emotions. We base our decisions based on our emotions. Well, I'm sad. I feel lonely. Let's go grab a drink. Oh, let's smoke. Oh, I'm bored. Let's smoke. I'm lonely. Okay, we'll go hook up with a hooker or stripper, prostitute. You know what I mean? Uh, um, I feel sad and depressed. Oh, I'm gonna take her back. So, what I'm telling you is to hold it, recognize the feeling when it comes, hold it, and then sit with it for a second. Don't make any irrational choices right now. Think about this. What's happening here? You got to ask yourself, what's happening here? And if it helps to write it down, you write it down. That's going to, CBT tells you that. Write it down so you can see it clearly. You're blind to you, and you're blind to yourself, and you're blind to the things that you do. Therefore, knowing that, well, if the Venerable says humans are blind to themselves, okay, well, let's not be blind. Let's write this out. You know what I mean? Let's write it out. Then start gathering evidences, whatever the evidence is. If she comes back, okay, what are the benefits of her coming back? What are the benefits of taking her, for example? If you wanted to quit your job, what is the benefit of quitting? Do I have a backup plan? What's plan A, B, and C? All of this require you to think analytically and psychologically, which is something people don't like to do because it's not easy, right? So they rather do the anything that's easy and lazy, people will do. Anything that's psychological and mentally taxing and you have to think about it, they don't want to do. Like tax season, no one wants to do taxes because it's mentally taxing. Literally, it's draining. So hire a CPA to do it for you. But when it comes to choices in your life, if you don't follow these guidelines and steps and think objectively and put your feelings aside, you will make very devastating choices that will cost you dearly. So again, and then you have to ask yourself, it's strange that we're using the mind to fix the mind. The one thing that causes us a lot of problems, misguides us, points us wrong directions to now try to fix its darn self. So after you have gathered evidence and you write it down, you have to actually go back and says, is this the right thing to do? With 10 other people that's sitting in front of me right now, looking at the decision I'm about to make, agree with me. I call that a jury level decision. So in my life, I've always made those type of decisions. You know what I mean? And I'm happy with it. In all of my line of work, I've always asked myself, and I have put in many dilemmas, and I have to ask myself, shoot, if, of course, when I make these decisions, no one's around. But I have to pretend that one day people are going to find out. And when they do find out about the decision that I've made ethically and morally in my job, in my whatever, was it the right thing to do? So 3 things you ask yourself. With the time that you have, with the resources available to you, and with the people that you're with, did you make the right choice based on those 3 factors? Yeah, that's something that again, I'm teaching you how to think. Again, any decision that you make. And at night, you have to review yourself. Every time at night, you have to ask yourself, let's do a review of the day. What did I do today? Great. Did I do the best I could? Is there more I could have done? And what backs up those two questions is, with the resources that I had today, did I make the best choice? With the people that I was with today, did I make the best choice? And, and with the time that I had. Sometimes you have to make decisions quickly. Sometimes you have the luxury of time to sit there and ponder. But typically these are the factors and guidelines in effective decision making, the science of decision making. Something school don't teach you. And I actually sat there and wondered why so many students make all sorts of mistakes. Because no one taught them how to think. And I realized we holy men have to teach them how to think. So, as you sit there, you're probably pondering, yeah, I've made all these mistakes. But it was good because it was by and through the mistakes that happened, that transpired, that led to this talk today. And you can blame our public school system. Just because, well, same thing with me, same thing with all of us. So we all had to figure this out. Just by other means. The more mistakes you make in your life, you gain more experience, as long as you don't make the same mistakes twice. Any questions? Clarifications? You got it all?
I got all of it. Just like you say, venerable. There's a lot going on.
Well, I hope that once a decision is made, you stand by them too, no matter what. And, like, for example, I share with you one of my policies about, when friends ask for money or borrow money, the answer is no, because the best way to lose a friend is to lend them money.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my, like, trademark policies. And long and behold, I had an assistant
Recently.
said, I will pay you back tonight. I just need, what was it, like $100 or $50 or something like that. Just in a matter of hours, I would have recovered the money. And I was like, couldn't do it. Because the best, that all it takes, it's a trusted assistant. But policies are there for a reason. And I explained it in the most kindful, most assertive way I could. I said, I have this policy and it applies to everyone, including you, my assistant. That the best way to lose an assistant friend is to lend them money. And therefore, I can't even do it. And I told him, like, not even for $1, I couldn't do it. I have to stand by my policy. My point is that whatever decision you make and the policies that you make for yourself, and you make these policies to ensure your own peace. And you have to understand, if you don't stand by them, what it will cost you. So let's talk about drug dealers for a second. Everyone knows drug dealer, right? Oh yeah. Oh, let's pretend I'm a drug dealer, okay? Oh yeah, okay. Well, making drugs, selling drugs is easy, right? Everyone that's watching me, they're like, oh, he's wearing black. He's really sketchy now. he's a drug dealer. Think about it. Okay, selling drugs is easy, and fun, and we can elude law enforcement, and we have all these apps and blah 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 that can tell us where they're at, and okay, all right. And then you do it, and you realize, oh, crap. You have to sleep with one eye open. The more people you engage in with drug transactions, the more you have to keep an eye out. Then you're suspicious of certain people and you don't know who's the confidential informant. And right? And then you don't know where they're gonna be setting up on you. And then you have to walk out and you have to wear sunglasses and all this other stuff. And right? And people don't really think about the consequences before they get into into it. You know, that's an example of drug dealing. But whatever relationship you want to get into, you have to realize the consequences that's going to unfold. Let me give you another more exact example. It's a lot of people are like, Venerable, you're really young and still good looking, and why don't you get married and have kids? Matter of fact, not too long ago at my dad's office while he was on vacation, there was a chick that was in a rush coming in and she needed something notarized. And I was like, okay, cop, you're in a rush. You came here for this and it's notarized. Have a good day. She sat down and she said, you know, Venerable, I've known you for a very long time. I don't know her, but a lot of them do know me since I was little. And I was like, well, she's already sat down. Mind you, she's in a rush. She's telling me before she came to the office, she was in a rush. And now she's sitting there and I'm like, yeah, you know me for a long time. Okay, all right, have at it. And she's like, you know, I got this niece in Vietnam. Ain't my first rodeo with people trying to do this arranged marriage thing and trying to hook me up with their nieces and whatever, daughters and nieces, whatever. And she's sitting there advertising her niece like they always do. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's only 20. She's good looking. She's never had a boyfriend. Blah, blah, blah. The whole shebang. What, virgin too? But I've already made up my mind. And I already know. I already know what the issue is going to be if I start this thing, if I say yes. All I got to do is say yes. And you know what? I've never seen anything like it before. This particular gal actually had a thing with my dad. They have backdoor politics behind me about this arranged thing. And my dad's still pushing it. My dad's like, oh, this gal is in Vietnam and they're waiting for you. You know, you have this vacation coming up and I think you should stop by this particular precinct in Vietnam and check this girl out. And I looked at my dad and I am so adamant on my policy. No one's stopping me. I can disrobe tomorrow if I wanted to. I can just tell one other person I'm disrobing and bloop, in the black shirt doing sketchy stuff. You know? But I'm 35. I've already done this whole love thing and stuff like that. I already know that in their mind, they actually think this girl actually think deep and everlasting love. I don't see it that way. My dad actually believed that same narrative. Deep and everlasting love against the advice of the Buddha. The Buddha have already said, ain't gonna last forever. It is not always satisfying, and rarely is she under your control. I've already seen that, even without meeting them. I don't have to meet them to know that. I've already made up my policy. So I told her, I'm like, nope. And she was I've never seen someone so disappointed. Then my dad came back and I realized why she was so disappointed, because they've already had a backdoor politics conversation that I didn't even know about. I'm just there at the office and I'm like, I'm wondering why you're still here. You were in a rush. And she tried to make her case. She sat there and she was like, but she put all the buts. But you should reconsider. And I'm looking at her like, what a fool. And I'm like, do you not see the determination in my eyes? I've had another girl told me, and I'm like, what's your deal? She's like, I see stability in your eyes. That's deep. That's deep when they point out your eyes, what they can see in you. And I was like, what in the gay hell? So but when I hit a lightning strike, I will look at a person with a lightning strike. If I say no, it's now a very different no with a very different tone. But I'm telling you, that little lawyer in her head just could not take no for an answer. For like, I thought you were in a rush. We've been here for 40 minutes. It's a no. And they're like, did you miss the lightning strike? Like, because the earth done shattered right here and then. Did you ignore that? It was a magnitude of an 8.5 earthquake in this room. But she probably missed all the clues and cues of no. No, I don't want to meet her. No, I don't want to get married. No, I'm on the path to sainthood. Arahant. Understand? Again, my point to you is, the moral of the story is, stick by your convictions. You're young, sit there and figure it out. What do you want in life? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to go with? And you stick by it no matter what happens in life. And have a standard with the next partner that you want. That means, she's got to meet this threshold or it's a no.
Mm-hmm.
You need to investigate everything, including body count. You need to be a detective. You need to investigate family history. You understand? The Buddha said dangers in the smallest mistakes. That's one of the most profound things I've ever heard in my life. Because I've always been critical and I've always seen the dangers in the smallest mistakes. And sometimes I'm thinking, I'm sitting there, I'm like, am I tripping right now? Because I must be the only guy sitting there thinking this. But most of my decisions were on point because I recognized the dangers in the smallest mistakes. And I acted on them. And the people that I hired and the jobs that I've had, and I was like, wait, something's off about this person. I'm like, no, can't ignore this. So, you're intelligent, you know that. You've made me laugh more than anybody, right? So that's why I know you're intelligent, because I've been with you for so long. And you're getting world-class advice. World-class. Can't get any better than this, okay? And I'm telling you, use your intelligence for happiness.
Yes, Venerable.
You're going to fail more, but fail knowing that you used the best science you knew. Like I have. I mean, I failed, but when I look back and I was like, shit, I couldn't do any better. I couldn't, because with the time that I had, resources I was with, people I was with, I made the best choice, and I'm okay with that. I can go to sleep at night knowing that I'm okay with that. So you're 23 this year. Yeah, expect 10 more tries. Expect 5 more chicks down the road. But if you use this science, then you have more roses and less thorns. You just don't want to be taken in life. You don't want to go through 5 more relationships and realize, holy crap, every single one of them drained the bank account. Every single one of them tried to sell the house, the car, the kids. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you have to look at your patterns. Be like, wait a minute, my MO, what's going on with my MO? It's like when you play airsoft, you're repeating the same mistakes 5 times. Like, people are going to be like, hello? We thought you were surgical with this thing. If it don't work the first time, figure it out a second time around. Plan B. We've known that in airsoft.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Strategies, logistics, details, information. Why can't you do that with humans? Books right there. Everything's free online on YouTube.
I'm on the path to greatness. I am on the path to greatness.
Oh, we all are. For the sake of the student, I'm gonna deactivate this so we have additional